Hey guys, it's Tuesday, May 5th, and we're ready to do the math boxes, lesson 6-1. So we've got 5 math boxes here. Question number 1 said Tony had 20 raisins. His sister gave him 15 more. How many raisins does he have now? So this is our start, change, end. Okay, so we need to think about where are we starting? What number are we starting with? Well, he had 20 raisins to start with. Okay, so we're going to put that in our start. Now, for our change, we need to decide, are we adding or are we subtracting? Well, if his sister gave him more, okay, that tells me that we're going to be adding. So I'm going to put that plus here, and it says that she gave him 15 more. So I'm going to say plus 15. So now you need to figure out the end. So I'm going to have you figure out the end. You need to write a number model. Okay, well, actually, the end is going to be our question mark. So I want you to go ahead and write a number model for this. Now, I'll give you a hint. If you just write exactly what it says up here with an equal sign there, you're going to have your number model. And then solve that to find the number of raisins, okay? Measure the length of this leaf in centimeters. Circle the best answer. Why don't you go ahead, estimate what you think it is, and maybe put a little star next to the one you think it is. And then when we come back, I'll actually use my ruler to measure it. And then and you can see if your estimation was right. Okay, now for this one, draw the hands to show 8:15. Now remember, for when I believe it was when we did our minute hand, we do our minute hand with the little arrow on the end. So we know that that one's the minute hand, okay? So you want to think about if our hour is 8 o'clock, well, is it exactly 8 o'clock? No, it's 8:15, but that's pretty close, okay? So our hour hand, we can just do it just a little bit after the 8, okay? So we'll do that. I'm gonna put a dot right there, okay? And then I'm gonna connect that dot into the middle, okay? And this is my hour hand, okay? I want you to draw your minute hand, okay? And to show me 15 minutes. So think about where would 15 minutes be on the clock, and I want you to draw your minute hand for me, okay? So, a bag of nuts costs 75 cents. You pay with $1. How much change do you get? Okay, well, you want to remember that $1 is equal to 100 cents, okay? So if it costs 75, how much are you going to get back? Figure that out and write it there, okay? Now, down here, we're going to use an open number line to show what we did. Rita has 25 buttons. Her sister gives her 20 more. How many buttons does she have now? Okay, so we'll go ahead and do this one together because it's been a while since we've done open number lines. So we're gonna start with what Rita has. Well, we know she has 25 buttons, so I'm gonna draw a line and I'm gonna write 25, okay? Now remember, an open number line is where we make jumps, okay? Now, we need to add 20 more. So it seems like making jumps of 10 would be the best method to use. So I'm gonna make a jump of 10, I'm gonna write plus 10, and then now, if I was at 25 and I add 10, what will I be at now? I will be at 35. But I've only added 10. I need to add 20. So I need to make another jump of 10. Okay? And if I was at 35 and I make a jump of 10, where's that going to put me? That will be 45. Okay? So remember, with our open number line, we make jumps. We do tens if we can, and if not, we can do jumps of smaller numbers. So over here, we will write 45 buttons, okay? So you have a few things that you need to do, so why don't you go ahead, pause your video to do your work, and we'll come back and go over the answers in just a moment. Okay, let's go ahead and go over some of those answers. So up here, as I told you, if you just kind of write exactly what it says going across with an equal sign there, we have our number model. So we had 20 plus 15 equals question mark, okay? And then, so if I have 20, I'll add 10, which would make it 30, and then add 5 more, and that makes it 35, okay? So when I use my ruler to measure this, I'm gonna, remember, I have to start right at the end because mine doesn't have a space before. When I look at that, it's a little bit past 7, okay, because you got to go tip to tip. It's a little bit past 7, but it's not quite at the 7.5 yet. So I'm going to say about 7 centimeters is the best measurement for that. So if you had a different estimation, that's fine, but 7 centimeters is the correct one. Okay, so we drew our hour hand before we paused the video. So we had our hour hand just after the 8 o'clock because it's a little bit after 8. And then my minute hand needs to be pointing at the 3. Because remember, every big number is 5 minutes. So 5, 10, 15. And I put the little arrow at the end to show that that is my minute hand. Okay? So a bag of nuts costs 75 cents. You pay with $1. We talked that $1 is 100 cents. So what I did is I paid 75 cents, but now I need to get up to 100 to figure out how much more I'll get back, okay? So I can think 10, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, okay? Or I can also just think of my song, 25, 50, 75, $1, okay? And so I know that I had to, and we were talking about quarters, so I knew I needed one more quarter, which would be worth 25 cents. And then we did our open number line at the bottom together. So good job, everyone. And I'll see you soon for some more work.